Hey guys, welcome back to Season 2, Episode 4 of 5 Random Airports and Airfields. And this week we're going to take a little trip down to the Falkland Islands. And we're going to explore the island as it was kind of back during the Falkland War conflict. There were a couple really good airports that popped up on flightsim.to. So we're going to just jump right in here and see what we can see. Alright, so first off, let's talk about the Falkland War. On April 2nd, 1982, Argentinian forces launched an all-out attack on the Falkland Islands. It was called Operation Rosario, and ultimately it was met by fierce resistance by the British military, which they had vested interest in these particular islands. One of the first airfields they secured would be Port Stanley Airport. This was SFAL, and this was a 4,004-foot runway, and was ultimately occupied by the Argentinian forces. Now, the scenery file that I have installed on here takes it back to what it looked like during the Falkland War conflict. So you're going to see some military vehicles, airplanes. It's a really nicely done scenery file for Flight Simulator. And I will post the links for all of the ones that I can on the description for this video. This particular file is done by Nick B007. And you'll also notice these weird these are not part of his scenery. These are actually part of someone else's, it's a point of interest file that you can get for the Falkland Islands. And this is really kind of interesting because it shows you events that took place during the Falkland War. And they're points of interest. So it's really kind of interesting to see what happened and what happened around these areas. So like we'll go over here. And you can see the bomb craters outside the airport. So as I was saying, this particular airport has been redesigned to look as it looked during this conflict. And Nick B007 has done a marvelous job. So there's a lot to see here, and it is well worth the time and effort to put this airport into Flight Simulator. Now the points of interest file is by someone named Rip Pip. I'm guessing I guess that's his name, or his username on flightsim.to. That is going to do it for Port Stanley Airport. Let's go ahead and jump on to the next one. Alright, so next up is going to be Goose Island. This is going to be SFSE, And this is 2,027 feet of grass. This particular little airstrip is famous for the Battle of Goose Green, which occurred on May 28th through the 29th of 1982. As you can see, we have our points of interest here, which give you the information of what occurred here. Another bomb crater. This would have been Aerodrome FK0005, Goose Green Airfield. And this is the village of Goose Green. Alright, well that's going to do it for Goose Island. And there is a lot to see. If you do the points of interest, just be forewarned. There's no way to turn them off. They just appear here. So if you want to remove them after you've used them, you have to delete them out of your community folder. But the points of interest for me were a big help, especially trying to tie some of the history together. Alright, so next is going to be Pebble Island. This is going to be SFSA, Sam Frank, Sam Adam, and this is 2,022 feet of grass. Another runway that is 866 feet of grass, and then a third runway which is 742 feet of grass. From the air, it doesn't really look like much, but a lot occurred here. And actually, we'll go into that here a little bit. The battlefield was here. This was a raid on Pebble Island. It was conducted by SAS Special Forces. And they ultimately destroyed the airstrip, plus 6 Picuras, 4 Mentors, and they destroyed 1 transport. And the attack itself took all of about 30 minutes before the SAS forces withdrew. And they were successful. There was apparently limited resistance from the Argentinian forces, though British forces did suffer some minor casualties. So your Pebble Island settlement down here. It would be interesting to have the British ships where they would have been out off the coast. It would be a really interesting well, it would be interesting to fly from the ships and fly some of the missions that they would have flown into the islands. And then this was apparently a landing strip also. That's a big pond. As for the other runways here, I'm just barely making them out. There's one here, and I'm not seeing the third. have been there, maybe. But the British made quick work of this airfield anyways. And where the buildings and whatnot, and where they would have housed, where the Argentinian military forces would have been housed, I'm not sure. So that's going to be it for this one. Let's go ahead and jump on to the next one. Okay, so now we are looking at, this would be a Spring Point landing strip. This is SFSB, and it is 1,884 feet of grass runway, with another runway being 2,211 feet of grass. I couldn't find a whole lot of information on this particular airfield, other than it exists, and whether or not it was used during the Falklands conflict, I'm not sure. We're on Fox Island, apparently. It's not a heck of a lot to see here, but it's still kind of interesting because you do have more points of interest to explore, and these points of interest, they're all over these islands. So if you get some time, jump in a helicopter or just in a 152 and go see what you can see. It looks whatever structure was here could have been there at one point. It looks like the road goes right into whatever little village this is. So that's going to do it for a Spring Point landing strip. And we're going to jump on to the last one, and we're going to talk about that one. Alright, so I've saved the big one for last. And yes, okay, this particular base did not exist until after 1985. The British, after the British pushed the Argentinian forces back, the British took a big interest in the Falkland Islands, and they built RAF Mount Pleasant. And this will be Edward George Young Paul. And this particular scenery file is done by a user by the name of Flak. This airfield has one runway that is 5,021 feet of asphalt and another that is 8,496 feet of asphalt. So they can get some pretty large aircraft in here. And this is, of course, as it looked after 1985 to present. And this is again with the points of interest for the Falkland War conflict, and everything you're going to see here is third party, and this is all totally free and available on flightsim.to. So let's just go ahead and jump on in here and take a look at the airport or airbase itself. After the war concluded, the British wanted more of a substantial presence here, so they built this base, and it is used to this day. it looks like, if I remember right, I don't remember that you had to download anything extra for this. But I could be totally wrong about that. So make sure you read the file description when you go to download it. This is an excellent, excellent piece of work. And this base covers so much real estate. So there is a lot to see here. Alright, well, we're going to jump up in the F4 Phantom and go for a quick little flight. Impressive work. Alright, so here we are in the F4 Phantom. This is a fun plane to fly. It's really good sound. Alright, and this is also a fun one to go check out some of the points of interest. And yes, I'm kicking myself because I bought this on the marketplace rather than buying it directly through somebody like SimMarket. So I gotta wait for a mod to come out that allows me to add the ordnance onto the plane. Okay, I'll acknowledge.
Mount Pleasant Tower, checkers 483 frequency change.
So the Falkland Islands, they have a pretty... There's a lot to see. So, you know, if you got some time and you want to get these files and you want to go check them out, maybe even fly a bombing mission over Pebble Island or Port Stanley. I mean, you could do all that with this. Just kind of like a little mock. You know what I'm trying to say. to bring this video to a close. And I just wanted to wish you all a happy holidays and Merry Christmas. I hope everything is going well for all of you, and I appreciate each and every one of you and for taking the time out of your day for watching these videos. Need to really be able to see up and over the Alright, well, hey, I think that's going to do it for this video. I, for the life of me, cannot land this thing tonight, so I'm going to just call it good. And again, I want to express, everybody have a wonderful, wonderful holiday. Merry Christmas. Just stay safe, everybody. We'll see you in 2024. Something really hot pops. You'll see me before then, but I think I'm going to take the next couple weeks off and try to get to feeling better. So, thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.